Like you are not very good in calculations, please avoid the front seats whenever you want to take the public transport. Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I hope you all are well. If you are new here, my name is Roseline. On this channel, I make videos on food recipes and other exciting videos such as the one that you are currently watching. So today I'll be making a video on some of the culture shock I have experienced as a Nigerian living in South Africa. I have been in South Africa for over 5 years, and today I felt let me just do a video that can serve both as an educational purpose and also to entertain you, my viewers. I hope you find value in this video. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first culture shock I had was with the public transport. So I must admit that most of the shocks I experienced in this country was actually minimal on me because my husband has been in this country years before I moved to join him. So he already explained how most of the things worked here. But you know they say experience is the best teacher, right? So the first culture shock I had was with the public transports, I mean the taxis. Here I noticed that once you are taking the taxi and you sit in the front seat, like the seat that is next to the driver, you will be responsible to collect the tea fare from other passengers, and you also have to give the balance, like what we call change back in Nigeria, to whoever is expecting to get a balance, and you have to count the money and just basically sort the whole money and hand it over to the driver. You might wonder why this was so shocking to me. It was shocking to me because back home in Nigeria, we have someone who is known as a conductor. These conductors serve as an assistant to the driver in a public transport, and one of the duties of the conductor is to actually collect all the money, like the tea fares from the passengers, give them their balance, and then hand it over to the driver. But here in South Africa, I noticed that most of the taxis do not have a conductor. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if it's something that is known or even acceptable. So what happens is whoever is sitting in the front seat next to the driver will be the one to act in the capacity of who we know to be a conductor back in Nigeria. And that was so shocking to me. So if you plan visiting South Africa and you intend taking the transport system and you know that your mathematics is not matching, like you are not very good in calculations, please avoid the front seats whenever you want to take the public transport. If not, you'll be the one to collect the whole transport fare, give balance to whoever is expecting it, and then count the money and hand it over to the driver. So another shock I also experienced, still in line with the transport system, is I notice whenever you are in the taxis and you're about getting to your location, instead of how we say it back in Nigeria, like, oh, driver, I want to stop here, I want to alight here, or I've gotten to my destination. It's not that common here. Instead, they use the word like after robots, before robots, short left, short right, and it was so confusing to me at first. I was always wondering, like, what are these people saying? But with careful observation, I was able to learn and I blended into the system. Yeah, and another shock I also experienced, still in line with the transport system, is I noticed that there are some signs or signals that are given to the drivers. And for example, those days I used to take the public transport to campus, which is the University of Johannesburg. And from the point where I'm expected to take this taxi, I have to do my hand like this. Like I have to raise up my hand like this. And I don't know what that means to the driver, but I noticed that whenever I just raise up my hand, my finger like this, the driver is actually going to stop and the driver will take me right to my destination. So I noticed that there are some signs, or rather some signals, that you have to give to the driver depending on wherever you are going to. So, but like I said, if you are visiting the country and you intend taking their public transport and you don't even have anyone to guide you on how to go about these things, just carefully observe how these things are being done, and by observation, I'm sure you're going to get it right and you will be fine. Yes, you should. So another culture shock I had was when I was pregnant with my first. There was a day I went to the mall, and this nice looking woman just actually walked up to me and she was like, "Oh, you're expecting, you're pregnant. Do you know the gender? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? When are you due?" And I'm like, "That's what they do here? What's happening here?" I was so surprised, like, why is this person asking me these questions? I mean, I don't even know you. But then, it was also shocking to me because back home, when people are pregnant, at times They even hide. Some people don't even upload their pictures on social medias, except you are very close to them. You dare not ask them some sensitive questions about their pregnancy because, they're going to feel like, oh, what do you want to use this information for? I hope you are not planning to harm me and my baby. So, I was so surprised when I don't even know he's asking me these questions. But thankfully, I was able to just answer her politely and I smiled. And after that, I actually got to know that it's just a way of life here. People ask these questions sometimes out of love and maybe because of the culture. Some of them don't actually mean to poke nose or to actually harm you or get this sensitive information from you for any special reason. They are just asking because to them it is normal. So don't be surprised when people walk up to you and ask you, do you know the gender? What are you having? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? And when are you due? Yes, people can ask you about your EDD, like, oh, when are you going to be due? Are you planning to have a vaginal delivery or are you planning to have a C-section? Like, yes, people ask those questions and to them it's normal. Yes, it's normal. But to me, as at that time, it was so shocking. But over time, I got used to it that, okay, it's just the way of life here. Yeah, another culture shock I had was the weather. Men are brethren. If you are visiting South Africa for the first time, and don't just assume, oh, because South Africa is in Africa, like their weather should just be normal. Like treat South African weather like you would treat the weather in Europe. Yes. My first winter was not funny. Like for someone who was coming from a country that we were just used to two major seasons, like the wet and the dry season, and maybe a sprinkle of harmattan. You can imagine what my first winter was like. It was so cold. And those days I had to go to campus. I usually have lectures in the evening. And you know how the temperature usually drop in the evening. God. The winter was not easy on me. Like my first winter wasn't funny. But then I survived. I survived and then summer came and I just went with the trend. Yeah, so the weather was actually a shock. It was actually a shock on me. Another culture shock I had was the markets. And when I first came in, I discovered anything I want to buy in this country, I have to go to the mall. Or like back home in Nigeria where we have this type of markets, like should I call it an open market, like not necessarily a mall kind of settings, but a market that is just open, like an open market sort of, like, I don't know if that's the right word to use, but here everything has to be bought in the mall. I don't know about the rural areas of South Africa, but I'm speaking with respect to the cities. Like you have to go to the mall. And another shocking thing, another shocking experience is there is little or no room for negotiation. Like you cannot negotiate. Back home in Nigeria, if a seller tells you I'm selling my product for 50 naira, you are permitted to say, oh, instead of 50 naira, can I pay 45 naira or even 30 naira? But here in South Africa, hey, once a seller tells you I'm selling my product for 50 rands, people, you cannot negotiate. You can't say, oh, please, instead of 50 rands, can I pay 45 rands? You just have to respect yourself and pay and respect the seller's choice, yes, and also respect the seller's price and pay. And I mean, if you basically have to go to the mall to get almost everything, there is not even anybody there for you to start asking, oh, can I buy this toothbrush for 10 rands instead of 20 rands? No, you go to walk into the mall, pick whatever you want to pick, go to the till and pay. There is little or no room for negotiation. And for a Nigerian woman, negotiation is a must. Like we are already used to negotiating. In short, in some marriages, some women even avoid sending their husband to the market because they feel, oh, men do not have this ability to negotiate. But here, either you're a man or you're a woman, you cannot negotiate. There is little or no room for negotiation. You get what I mean? So there's little or no room for negotiation. So that was another culture shock I had. Another culture shock I had was how the rent is being paid. Back home in Nigeria, people pay their rent annually, like per annum. But here in South Africa, rents are paid monthly. Yes, monthly. It is very common. I'm not saying there are no exceptional cases where you can actually request to pay either quarterly or yearly. I don't know about that, but the most common method of paying your rent is monthly. Also, school fees for preschool, primary and high school are paid monthly, not the universities now, no, but preschool, primary school and high school, they pay their fees monthly, unlike back in Nigeria where people pay per semester or per term rather. But over here you pay your rent monthly, you pay your child's school fees monthly. That was so shocking because at the end of every month you have to be ready to pay your rent, unlike back home that if you just pay by the beginning of the year then you are covered for the remaining part of the year. No, here you pay your rent monthly. So another culture shock I had is the return policy. Yes, the return policy. It's also shocking to me that whenever you go to the mall and you buy a particular item, let's say you bought maybe like a shoe or a dress and you take it home and maybe you discover, okay, this dress is not my size, or I no longer like the dress, or oh no, I just changed my mind. You can actually go back to the mall, to the store where you got that product and return it. Still have your receipt, yes, because they need your receipt to be able to prove that it was you who actually bought it and everything. It's also surprising because back home these things are not common, except some major cities in Nigeria where you get to experience that. But it's not common that you buy something in Nigeria and you are able to return it after some time, maybe if there is an issue or if you don't like it. But here it's common. If you buy anything, as long as you still have the receipts, you can return it. Some stores even offer cash back. Yes, excuse me, some stores can even offer to give you your cash back if you say you are no longer interested in that product, especially if the product is still in the right form, is not damaged in any way, then you can still return it. Yes, you can still return it. Another thing that also surprised me, still in line with that, is if you buy a particular item from, let's say you buy a particular item from a Woolworths in Pretoria, and take for instance, you found yourself in Joburg and you now discover that, oh, I don't like this item again. You can actually walk into another Woolworths in Joburg with your receipts and return it. And the cashier in Johannesburg will not be so upset to say, oh, but you didn't buy it from our store, you must take it back to Pretoria. No, 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 no. As long as you have your receipts, you can return whatever you bought and you are no longer satisfied with it. You are free. If you buy anything, you get home and you are no longer satisfied with it, and it's still within the period of warranty, you can actually return it back to the shop and there will be no issue. So that was so shocking to me. Like, it was so surprising, and I actually appreciate that about the South African markets. Yes, I really do appreciate that about the market system here. So another shock I also experienced is with the people of God. The people here minds their business. Like, people mind their business, like, to some extent. For instance, if you are living in a complex or an estate, it's so easy, or it's very possible that you won't even know the name of your next neighbor, except if you are this, open person that's, you can actually walk up to them and say, oh, hello, I'm your neighbor, can I meet you? My name is Roseline, can I meet you? But if you are a very reserved person, be sure that you have the environment that will support that. Like, everyone minds their business, people mind their business. Unlike back home that you just see people getting into the way of your business. I don't know if that is the right word to use, but here people mind their business. People go about their daily activities minding their business, and the highest you can get from anyone is just, oh, hello, good morning, and that's all for the day. Except if you've been able to go above the level of acquaintance and you are so used to this person, then you can now have a level of relationship that's maybe your friends. Other than that, everyone minds their business. Yeah, so everyone minds their business. Another culture shock I experienced is here people do not just visit you anyhow. Yes, before anyone can come visiting you, they will have to call you or send you a message to request if they can come to visit you. Or like back home that I can just say, Tobeka, I was just, going along the streets and I thought to just stop by to say hello. No, over here you have to ask, like, Are you at home? Can I come say hello? Can I come, can I come have some time with you at home? You can't just barge into anyone's house and like, okay, trying to like, okay, like I'm coming to visit you. No, even if you are friends or you are colleagues, you have to ask like, hello, Roseline, are you at home? I'm thinking of visiting you by next weekend. Will you be available? And I'll say, okay, yes, I'm available. You can come over. Or no, I'm not available. And everyone will be fine. So please, over here, it's also shocking to know that if you're in front of the person's complex, you can't just like, oh, I'm in front of your complex, please open the door. No, you have to request. You have to ask the person if you can come visiting and not just invade their privacy by just like knocking on their door and saying, oh, I'm here. Oh, I just want to say hello. I just came here to visit you. No, here it is not done. And it's also shocking to me because back home, you can just be in your house and someone will just knock at the door and like, oh, okay, I was just in your street or I was just in the next street and I told to come say hello. And then you wouldn't even have any choice than to let the person in. But here, it's not done that way. You have to request like, hello, please, can I come visit you by next weekend? And it will be left to the person to decide if you are welcome or not. Yeah. So another culture shock I experienced is the way people love pets. Yeah, like people love their pets. And it's also shocking to me to see people live with their pets such as pussycats and dogs. Like back home, who does that? Only a few people. Maybe the rich, actually. Maybe the rich people are just maybe only a handful of people who actually love pets. Otherwise, some pets like cats are seen and regarded as something else. But here, people have them in their complexes, in their estates as their pets. In short, people go on an evening walk with their pets. Like they practically walk their dog. They have this what do you call it? The pusher or the trolley, the pram, the pet pram. Yeah, they have the pet pram for their pets. They also have some toys, like they buy toys for their pets. And even if you go to the mall, there is a section designated for the pet food. Yes, people go in there and buy these things for their pets. So here people love their pets, and it's also shocking to me. Most times when I'm going on a walk and I see anybody walking in the opposite direction with their dog, I'm always running. Like I'm always trying to avoid them. Like I'm always trying to avoid them because it's not what I was actually used to back home. But here people love their pets and they respect their pets. And if you are living in such complexes where people have pets, you also have to respect their pets. Yes, you have to respect their pets because some people's pets are just like their family members and they love them so much. So you have to respect their pets. Yes, you have to. So another culture shock I experienced is the way people are so organized. Like, so when I just came to this country, I saw a queue. Like I saw people who were queuing and I was wondering, oh, what are these people queuing for? Guess what? They were queuing to enter the taxi and they were so organized. No one was just trying to, take a chance on anyone else. Everyone was so organized. Everyone was so peaceful. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. Another thing I also noticed is that everywhere you go, you won't see the floors being littered by dirt. Like you can't just be walking and maybe you had your 2-liter cold drink and you just drop the plastic. No, people are so responsible to know that they are not supposed to litter anywhere with dirt. Another beauty is in every corners you would actually find a dustbin. So it's easy for you to know that once I'm done with my cookies, I must not just drop the plastic on the floor. I'm going to hold on to it until I get to the next dustbin and I'm going to drop it there. So the people here are so organized, and it's also shocking to me because back home, I won't just say what I want to say. I won't say that, but I just respect the way people were so organized, and it was actually a shock to me. So these are some of the culture shock I've experienced in this country. And like I said, the shocks were not that shocking on me. Like it was very minimal on me because my husband has already been in this country years before I moved to join him. So most of the things that were supposed to be shocking was already being explained to me by my husband. So it wasn't that shocking. I don't know if that English is permitted. It wasn't that shocking again. So I hope you actually enjoyed this video. I actually have other shocking experience I would love to make into another video, so that this video will not be too long. To see the part 2 of my experience, you can let me know in the comment section, and please like this video. Please like this video, and let's make this video go viral. Yes, let's make this video go viral. Please like this video, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel, especially if you are new here and you haven't subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, and let's build a beautiful community here. Thank you so much for watching, viewers. Until I come your way next time again, remain blessed. Bye.